The reason I make these philosophical works speaking against social media, and specifically YouTube, but I try to tackle all of these social media services, is because it's making everyone so aggressive. And because everyone is so aggressive, all the content is just trying to out aggressive the previous work. And even the intellectual, the stimulating works, it's a lot of Glazer content. I know it sounds like a transition to use such a scandalous word. I guess I don't know, but it's just you're listening to someone talk about previous academic individuals who are, Einstein, Immanuel Kant, Rene Descartes. Even artists, just anyone you could think would be in this high realm of intellect. And instead of just speaking about who they are and what they have done, you hear people speak and praise, and this is where glaze comes in. It is giving them credit or finding them as renowned as they were the first to discover this. No, like the more I feel that it would help credit, it would help um, our society when talking about these people. We just note that this is where our society has discovered this. This is when our society, this is who um, is accredited for these discoveries. Doesn't mean that they were the first one to discover it or the first one to ever think about it. It's just how we know the story to go, how we have accepted the story. But if Immanuel Kant never left, since he never left his homeland, um, there's someone else that could have probably done that and done it even better than he did. But we don't know their work. We know Immanuel Kant's work. And there's no advantage to a certain demographic to go in and change that. We already made the T-shirts. We already did the brands and logos. Um, he gets the name recognition. If someone says, "Hey, this person that discovered it years ago," if there's not enough evidence or time or resources put into it, it just kind of fades. It goes. There's a reason why coining people as these mega geniuses and the inventors and the promised ones has caused irreparable damage to our society. Because everyone thinks that, oh, back in the day, you could have done this, you could have been at your home and you were just magically a genius and you came to this. When the reality is, hey, some people, yeah, you posted that work. There wasn't social media, so there wasn't a lot of circulation at all. Other people that agreed with it, instead of tagging their name and saying, "Hey, I also made this very similar work," they just like boosted and pushed the one. Like, yeah, I think that one's like the best of us all. It's a combination. Now, just because everyone doesn't have the hubris to be like, I need to name this after myself. That's it's not. It wasn't always about business. It wasn't about money or popularity, name brand. There wasn't this copyright. It was just people did this for the love of the game. They liked the information. They had enough to eat. They had enough to sleep. They liked the way that they lived. They might have had a few gripes, which is why they did this in the first place to advance, but they were able to have a somewhat stable life, to have more time to think about these things. People forget that these geniuses didn't have to pay exorbitant taxes and fees and be in the middle of wars and drink dirty water and under mass surveillance and psyops. It's all these things. Now maybe there were treasons and spies and issues, but they never equal to what's going on now. So it's like it's hard to compare someone in this great grandiose light without making what we go through in modern day less by comparison. It's like I don't see them as such a super genius. Yeah, I'm glad that they were coined, or they um, had been a culmination to be able to figure these things out, and it's how I show gratitude towards that is acknowledging them in this history. But that's how far I go. Um, because again, I don't know if someone ever came up with this answer before. And when I, just lived my life, I could go, hey, I think I came to a pretty good conclusion. Like I might have come to those conclusions had I been alive in that time. Like I'm. There are many factors, but simplicity often comes with this cost of this is how it is, very streamlined, very easy. We understand it like this, so it is like this. Over a while, it becomes flanderized. We start to superimpose. We start to give credit where credit is not due, and because of that, now we have stories of these intellectual works, and when they're talking about it, they're like, he was a supreme genius and once in a lifetime revolutionary mind, and it's like, can you tell me what he believed without the glazing? Do I have to sit here and wait for? Should I give you guys some privacy? Should I leave the room? Because like I just want to know what he thought. Like what was his thinking? What was his mindset? Usually, even when people are producing their own work, when they're actually truly engaged with their work, they're not trying to glaze themselves. They're not trying to get the look at me, I deserve the MVP. I'm trying to get nominated for an award. They're trying to do the thing. They're trying to, hey, this is what I have to say. This is why I'm saying it. And then someone else goes, that's actually an incredible point. Let's give this man an award. Like you made such an incredible point. I'm gonna nominate you. And it's like what you're supposed to do is go, oh, that's nice. Thank you for acknowledging what I said. That's it. But now people make works for the nomination spot, which is like that's the thing that I was saying with an academic and a scholar. Like you're an academic when you're going to school, going to get educated, to get paid for to work in a position, to get paid to say and write um, the same thing, the same rhetoric, the rhetoric that you're paid to say, but in a smarter way. To just recontextualize it to be academic, to be smart. Um, it doesn't mean that it's true. It just means it sounds smart. It sounds really good. Scholar, is getting educated for the love of the game. They would have done it. They would have done it for money or no money. They would have just done it because they like doing it. And the simplest means they like doing it. But everyone does it for a financial gain or benefit. Like me, I'm not doing this because I necessarily want. Like I want this to be my life, but I want more of life. I want to be able to, see how far I can go. I don't feel satisfied, so I keep pushing until I do feel satisfied. And then when I feel satisfied, I don't want to do anything else. And it is not for anyone else to dictate, oh, you have too much or you have too little. That's for me. Now, if I ask someone their opinion and they tell me that, then I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take that into consideration. But if I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to sit there and just, well, there's other people who are uncomfortable, so you should just accept your position. I don't listen to those people. I hear what they said. I might not even reply to them. I just don't. Uh, that's a negative outlook on life. If there's something in yourself that is telling you you do not like something, then you don't like it. What do you want me to do? Glaze it? And that's why um, YouTube is so terrible when it comes to the academic things, because like when you're trying to learn something, you're either getting this negative approach that is just telling you, hey, look at this thing. Here's the history of it, and this is why it's bad, and it's killing us. Okay, bye. Now that you're sad, bye. It's like you're not gonna say anything uplifting or like anything that could prevent this or what or who or the causes, things that instead of using your power or money and you know trying to form groups and coalitions and whatever, so there's that negative side where it's just trying to put you in a negative mood. Then you have the other content where it's like, here's some um, incredible minds. It's the same, like, 100 people just recycled. And it's just like, listen to this person that has helped society and created this, and this is the basis of what we have. It's just a Eurocentric, like, view. It doesn't talk about, like, their negative, like, outlooks, like the racism, their history. They kind of brush over that. They'll say, oh, the controversial past. The time they made all these racist works, like all their racist writings. Kant made racist writings. He didn't even leave where he was from. He was just racist. Like that, that should play towards how incredible he was as a writer. That should be like, you know, how how can we trust all of his words? And is it really even that great of an idea if he couldn't figure out that racism was bad and wrong, and like our society is built off his work, and he was racist. He was incredibly smart, but he was racist. And so it's like you have all these glazer content, and it's like I'm going to use a different word, but it's if you just listen long enough, it's just look how immaculate and how Stimmy all these buzzwords. I'm like, bro, what did he say? What did he believe in? Like, what's the part? What's the purpose of saying this? And it can be a bit hopeful, but it just kind of continues to say, believe in the current thing that's going on right now, or just have hope. And hope is irrational, um, and I don't think it's. I don't need hope. I need logic. I need plans. I need something to grasp, to hold. Hope is not something that like hope is a way of holding control over people that could have control, but are letting go because they're hoping for divinity, hoping for something to come to absolve them, to pick them, to favor them. It is the people that have turned their backs on humanity that strive for hope. They use hope because they don't believe in humanity. They don't go, hey, I'm going to be around people that are able and capable of helping me. I'm going to learn and be stronger and engage in society. No, I'm just going to hope that a being, a deity, something provides me the resources and the tools, and knows that in my heart I'm a good person, even though I've never done anything. Hope is like it tells you you're a good person. It tells you you're a good person. And it says, I hope other people see it too. But it doesn't show any proof. It's demanding for a sandwich to be made and then saying, give me a sandwich. A sandwich appears into your hands. And then at the same time, when you no longer want a sandwich and you say, give me a sandwich, and it doesn't work, it denies, how did you get this sandwich? Why did it work this time? Why not that time? It, could that always happen? Are you just the favored one? Why are you favored and not me? It causes division. Hope is irrational. It's logical. It's logical why people try to lean towards hope, want hope to exist, but it's irrational. Um, Getting back to what I was saying, yeah, the content is weak. People can't navigate it because it's always trying to perpetuate certain narratives. That's the problem with YouTube. The recommendations are just trying to get you to engage with certain content, and it will always hide every other piece of content. And unless you're going all the way into the backs of the recesses of YouTube, um, it expects the sponsorship type quality. It expects it to be manicured in a way that is deemed acceptable and elite. But doing that is exactly why AI is progressing the way it is. It's because like nothing is actually. This is something that we know you're going to watch for a long time. Not necessarily like, but it doesn't leave any room for improvement. As Mayuri once said, "The perfect being," you said, but there is nothing perfect. That is the way things are. People drive themselves mad trying to uh, reach perfection. It's because of infatuation, but it's pointless. That's it. And he goes on to say, like, it was a great speech, but that's exactly it. All of this is just so manicured, so perfect that it says that this is the greatest. This is it. This is the best. This is all it's ever going to be. It's boring. It didn't solve all my issues. It didn't solve all my problems. It says it demands you to become small. It demands you become a small, insignificant being to fit into this neat and nice bubble. It says chop off a limb if need be to exist in this. And it will work all fine in this theoretical bubble. And that's what it is, theoretical. Because like when it's actually played, it doesn't actually work. Many of these concepts have to be supplemented with violence, with racism, with discrimination, with ill-gotten gains and wealth. It has to. What it does is cause division. You gotta. Heck, even the status of white supremacy at this point, like why I believe ICE is even hammering down as much as it is because like in a few years, the white population in America will be less than the Hispanic. So they're trying to get rid of all the Hispanic people, so the white people can stay the dominant power. Because if another race gets to be the dominant people, yeah, maybe for the first few years, because they've been trying to get Hispanic people to be white people, but it doesn't really work because it doesn't, because they're going to know that they're Hispanic, even if they're like, oh, I'm white. You can never, because in white supremacy, this is how it goes. White people know that they're white. It's never I have to prove it. You never, oh man, I forgot I was white. No, it's just there's a confidence, there's an understanding. It's because you are. So you're not needing to prove that to anyone. The reason why so many people become unhinged is because they're telling themselves a lie. They're like, I'm this, I am white, but it's like, you're not. And then when it's convenient, you can switch back. It's like, oh, I'm not white. That would throw you mad. It's like, are you or are you not? Like, what type of identity crisis? And you can see it just like deranged, and it's like, okay. And that's something that you would see like on the streets with the homeless people, and they're just like I am and I am not, to be and not to be. And it's like wise but also sad, and you're just like, let me just leave this alone. and go about my day. I don't know how to help this person. They got an identity crisis going on. So eventually like people know that they're going to pick their identity. They're gonna see themselves. They're gonna be like, okay, um, yeah, I'm just Hispanic, and then they're gonna vote for Hispanic presidents and Hispan and it's not saying like it's bad. It's saying that white supremacy doesn't work unless white people are the supreme. So it doesn't matter what race. You're just not gonna have any other race be able to be the president. The only reason why Obama worked, it isn't because he's biracial. It's because Obama is a white guy. Black people in America, the African American race, the African American diaspora is a white. Um, it's not a subsect of white, but it is. Our identity is I. It's hinging on it. It is. We developed as black people because of whiteness, because our roots were taken from us. So we came up and tried to keep all the African roots and things in our head, and we kept them. But they're misplaced and misunderstood and mixed because we're basically like if you think of black people like literally like all black Americans, it doesn't matter biracial, not biracial, whatever, as mixed kids. White dad, black mom. Now we're having identity crisis because we're like, I remember this time. This was when I was with dad. This is the racist thing. He was making fun of mom, but this was something mom taught me. This is something dad taught me to make fun of, but I remember it. So it's like all this in our head, and we because we were around, we lived with white people. We read the constitutions. We were there when these things were getting made. We were fought in these wars. We were by their side all the time. We're this separate, um, like set of personalities. We're the bastard childs. We're all these people that are different. And when we finally got to a place where we were just treated all right, we're still kind of just shaking and under and kind of don't know who our alliances, really hold with because like no one in Africa want to take us, no one in America want to take us. We kind of like in between, like we're just doing so much all the time that we can't really, it's hard, it's difficult. Every time we try to figure out ourselves, like that's why I believe like Black Lives Matter was a psyop. It's like we're getting used as a political pawn, as a bad guy, as something to be like, oh no, look at us. We want to be free. Like all we ask for is like, hey, can you stop beating us? Can you stop killing us? Can we live long enough? And it doesn't happen. We got the mass incarceration, so we're always doing something. So we never have time to sit there and be like, huh, we are kind of white. We're not whitewashed. But it's like, what are we? Who are we? Like we share so much history. We're just the second side, the other side of one coin. And it's like so Obama, a black person with money, raised around whiteness, that has allegiance under a white supremacy system, who he benefits under white supremacy. He's not a sellout. He's just that's what he was raised to do. So he did what he was raised to do, and upheld white supremacy, and he benefited from it. Hooray! That's what he. So that's why it worked. But like everyone else knows their identity and history and can track some things, and it'd be like a little bit more, um, you know, it can be a little bit more convoluted because like there's no one else that's gonna take black Americans. There's no one else that's gonna be like, you know what, come to our country, black Americans, come and be in our country and live, and because everyone was treating us bad. Everyone has an N word in their world, in their society. For that, it was manufactured, it was amplified just for that specific reason. Because like if we ever just kind of came to and realized, hey, we are owed compensation and we're entitled to positions and we deserve these things and these conversations and we're our own separate entity, if we're allowed to be, or at least get to say, hey, we're also the children of these white slave owners and we are owed some of that that money that came from there. Like are owed this inheritance. We're basically the black sheep child that the nation doesn't like. So when things start to become, we are supposed to maintain like our, we don't know, this is that, this is bad. If we ever put in positions of actual power, when someone's woke and aware enough and can actually, because we're very, we know a lot of the same things, but there's a lot of things that aren't privy to us. And then when you start to make them, you know, open and start, recognizing things, you can't go, oh, it was a long time ago. You're like, these things are pretty modern. Yeah, racism is not that long ago. In fact, it's actually way closer than, yeah, it's actually current. This thing is currently happening. Wow, and we owe this debt. Is that where the deficit's coming? It's like, like the money that we owe black people. Yeah, and let's just keep enslaving them and increasing this debt, and then they'll be like, look, these black people are asking for money. Yeah, like if slavery was so recent, and then you need time to rest and recover and build and educate and kind of get over this traumatic events. You need a couple more generations. You need to live off of some sort of assistance that the government was supposed to provide, that the government, kind of caused this problem, and now they owe compensation. So it's not really government assistance. It's called reparations. Yeah, reparations. I don't have a video editor. I'm doing this all just naked. I'm waiting for the red dot to come behind me and me just being slumped over. They're gonna be like, man, look at what the wind did. Look at the acorns, bro. These acorns have extreme velocity. Crazy. He was depressed. So depressed too. Too is crazy. With that being said, I'm done with this one.